until next year, right now at Coons Ford.
Tonight, North Korea's threat to America on the 4th of July. The new, more powerful missile. American officials confirming its long-range capability. Could North Korean missiles now reach Alaska or even further east? The president's response and his unusual message to Kim Jong-un. Showdown, President Trump and Vladimir Putin preparing to meet face-to-face. Tonight, the White House and the Russians describing the meeting in two very different ways. Will Russia's meddling in the U.S. election be on the agenda? Up in flames, police investigating the possibility of illegal fireworks in the blast that leveled this home as the heat and bone-dry conditions in the West are turning fireworks into a firefight. And holiday high alert, protecting parades and fireworks with sand trucks, drones, and temporary barriers. The new measures keeping America safe.
This is ABC World News Tonight with David Muir.
And good evening, I'm Tom Yamas, in for David, and we begin on this Independence Day with a new provocation from North Korea. What could be the most dangerous yet? A new missile launched being called a breakthrough, a successful test of an intercontinental ballistic missile, possibly capable of reaching Alaska. North Korea's official statement celebrating the launch, promising to root out what they see as the U.S. threat. And tonight, President Trump responding with an unusual tweet, calling out North Korea's dictator, then calling on North Korea's neighbors to take action. ABC's David Curley starts us off from the White House.
U.S. officials confirmed tonight this launch appears to be a major breakthrough, a North Korean two-stage intercontinental ballistic missile. Supervising it all, Kim Jong-un. It's a missile which could potentially reach the U.S. Kim, his military leaders, and scientists all celebrating. A success, declared a newsreader, North Koreans applauding the news. The missile reached 1,700 miles high, landing in the water 577 miles to the east in the Sea of Japan, angering the Japanese. Experts believe such a missile might be able to reach Alaska. North Korea's military calling this the, quote, final step in creating a confident and powerful nuclear state that can strike anywhere on Earth. That possibility, that escalation, coming just days after President Trump, worried about a nuclear warhead on this type of missile, put North Korea on notice.
The era of strategic patience with the North Korean regime has failed. Many years, and it's failed. And frankly, that patience is over.
Reaction today came in a new tweet. Quote, does this guy have anything better to do with his life? Hard to believe that South Korea and Japan will put up with this much longer. Perhaps China will put a heavy move on North Korea and end this nonsense once and for all. But just 2 weeks ago, Mr. Trump appeared to have given up on China. Quote, while I greatly appreciate the efforts of President Xi and China to help with North Korea, it has not worked out. At least I know China tried. With no new policy announced, the president's national security advisor making it clear the U.S. will not allow the North to threaten the U.S. with nuclear weapons and is making plans.
The president has directed us to not do that and to prepare a range of options, including a military option, which nobody wants to take.
The pressure mounting on North Korea, and David Curley joins us from the White House. And David, word just in that the Trump administration is requesting an emergency meeting at the UN to address the North Korean threat.
In the Security Council is what they're requesting. They'd like to see that meeting held tomorrow, Tom. The U.S. ambassador to the UN tweeted today she's been in meetings all day talking about this launch. Tom?
David Curley for us at the White House. David, thank you. I want to bring in now ABC's military analyst, retired Marine Colonel Stephen Ganyard. He joins us from Washington. And Steve, the North Koreans shot the missile straight up into the air to a high altitude. What does the distance it traveled tell you about where it could reach?
Tom, the North Koreans launched this missile almost straight up, as you say, because they didn't want to overfly Japan or Russia. The missile itself reached an apex of almost 1,700 miles, which means that it had been on a max range trajectory. It could have reached Anchorage and wouldn't have been far from reaching Seattle. The U.S. has been developing a ground-based interceptor system that's designed to knock down incoming North Korean missiles. But it's very complex science. It's very much like hitting a bullet with a bullet. And although the most recent test was successful, the system itself is still only barely over 50% reliable.
Steve, North Korea's leader Kim Jong-un has been described as a loose cannon. Will the president's tweet about him, does this guy have anything better to do with his life, will that provoke him further?
Tom, I think it's only going to make him more determined. He is on a very deliberate course to develop a nuclear capability that can hit the continental United States. And today's launch shows that that plan remains on track. But note, Tom, that it was no coincidence that this latest launch was on the 4th of July.
Military analyst Steve Ganyard for us tonight. Steve, thank you. And as those tensions with North Korea are ramping up, President Trump and the First Lady honored military families at a picnic on the White House lawn. Coming up, the big showdown. The entire world will be watching. His first face-to-face meeting with Vladimir Putin is now set for Friday. But differences are already surfacing. ABC's Gloria Rivera with the new developments from Washington.
Tonight, President Trump celebrating the 4th in Washington.
Our country is doing really, really well, no matter where you look.
Tomorrow, he embarks on his second foreign trip, with all eyes on that Friday face-to-face with Russian President Vladimir Putin. For more than a year, Trump has sung Putin's praises.
I think Putin's been a very strong leader for Russia. He said Trump is a genius, and Trump is going to win, and Trump is leading the party. If Putin likes Donald Trump, I consider that an asset, not a liability.
But with just days to go, the White House is downplaying the meeting, calling it a normal bilateral discussion and saying little else. In contrast, Russia is billing it as a full-fledged seated meeting, releasing a detailed agenda of the issues Putin will raise. The war on terror, nuclear arms control, and Russia's extreme dissatisfaction with the sanctions President Obama imposed in retaliation for Russian meddling in the U.S. election. The White House won't say whether the president will even raise the issue of Russia's interference, or whether the president finally accepts Russia was behind the hack.
He believes that Russia probably was involved, potentially some other countries as well could have been equally involved, or could have been involved not equally.
Trump has also sent conflicting signals about whether he's met Putin before, telling David Letterman in 2013,
He's a tough guy. I met him once.
last year backtracking.
I have no relationship with Putin. I don't think I've ever met him. I never met him. I don't think I've ever met him.
Friday, he will get his chance with the whole world watching.
And Gloria Rivera joins us from Washington tonight. And Gloria, the meeting comes as the FBI investigates Russia's meddling in an American election, but the White House is not planning to make that a focus of the discussion, correct?
That is correct, Tom. A senior administration official tells us the White House expects this meeting to be brief, that it is doubtful Russia's meddling in the U.S. election will be a prominent focal point, that it would be viewed as a waste of time, and according to this official, a loser of a topic. Tom?
Gloria, thank you. Let's head overseas now. New gains in the war against ISIS after recent success in Mosul, Iraq. Tonight, a major advance in Raqqa, Syria, the city ISIS calls its capital. The U.S. Central Command reporting that Arab and Kurdish fighters have broken through the historic wall around Raqqa's old city. ISIS militants had taken up fighting positions along that wall. The U.S.-led coalition is providing close air support. Back here at home, there is growing resistance to President Trump's Commission on Election Integrity. Nearly 40 states now saying they are unable or unwilling to turn over personal voter information, including names, birth dates, voting history, and the last 4 digits of Social Security numbers. Some are concerned that centralizing all that data will make it more vulnerable to attack or misuse. The president tapped Kansas Secretary of State Chris Kobach to head the commission after claiming without providing evidence that millions had voted illegally in the 2016 presidential election. Next to the warning when fireworks are part of the holiday festivities, police in Missouri are investigating the possibility of illegal fireworks in the blast that leveled this home. And this year, the tinderbox-like conditions out west are causing wildfires that quickly grow out of control. ABC's Clayton Sandell is in Colorado tonight.
They're supposed to be for celebrating. But tonight, a 4th of July explosion of the worst kind.
House just blew up. We saw people inside.
That Missouri house leveled, injuring 3 people inside.
The house is demolished, is on the ground.
The ATF and the local fire chief say a possible cause could be illegal fireworks manufacturing, though they are still investigating.
This is bad.
Around the country, the holiday is putting the fire in fireworks, even the legal ones. A show igniting this blaze near Detroit. In Phoenix, winds carried embers from a fireworks show into nearby trees. And in Texas, fireworks are blamed for this 320-acre brush fire. Right now, there's nearly 30 large wildfires burning across the West, and with the heat and wind, authorities don't need any more, which is why fireworks shows in places like Aspen, Steamboat Springs, and Durango, Colorado, have all been canceled. And there are still plenty of fireworks shows happening tonight, including this one that they're setting up for here in Highlands Ranch, Colorado. And especially this year, authorities are asking people to leave the fireworks to the pros. Tom?
Good advice with all those wildfires out there. Clayton, thank you. And Ginger G joins us now for those dry conditions out west. Will they be a concern throughout the week? And a tropical system we're now monitoring.
And Tom, it's not just dry, but very hot. Let me take you straight to the maps where you can see that ridge of high pressure, the jet stream so high up there, and that high also ushering in the heat. An excessive heat warning in place again for Phoenix, 113 for Wednesday's high. It'll get even hotter through the week. Then you look at the trouble spots for tonight. So fireworks forecasts are a little messier in southeast Missouri, northeast Arkansas, also scattered showers through Washington, D.C. And finally, a look at that group of thunderstorms off the west coast still of Africa, 80% shot at that becoming a depression or a storm in the next 5 days. If it does, its name is Don. Tom?
All right, Ginger, thanks. We'll keep an eye on that storm. Next to the tight security on this 4th of July, authorities especially on alert for possible attacks with vehicles. ABC's Gio Benitez on the new measures in place to keep parades, fireworks shows, and holiday travelers safe.
Tonight, law enforcement on high alert for one of the nation's most beloved celebrations. Coast-to-coast security ramped up for those fireworks displays. Boston using drones tonight for an eye in the sky.
We will deploy a multi-layered, multi-agency security plan.
In Washington, D.C., buses are now roadblocks to prevent any vehicle attacks like the ones seen in Europe.
Here in New York City, the NYPD will have more than 100 vehicles to block intersections, nearly 24 sand-filled trucks, and counterterrorism officers will be among the crowd, many in plain clothes.
We know the world we're living in. The NYPD is constantly focused on preventing acts of terror.
Divers in New York's East River even checking the barges holding the fireworks for any tampering. ABC News got a rare look at the NYPD's efforts last summer. Officers with radiation detectors, dogs trained to sniff the kind of chemicals used by ISIS in suicide bombs, a counter-terror control center with 9,000 video feeds scanning 3 million license plates every day.
I want to tell all New Yorkers to be ready for this and see this as a good thing.
And Gio Benitez joins us now from New Jersey. Huge crowds expected across the country and here in New York, right, Gio?
That's right, Tom. We're talking about 3 million people expected in New York City alone, 60,000 fireworks exploding overhead. That's why security is just so important tonight. Tom?
3 million. All right, Gio, thanks so much. New Jersey's budget standoff is over tonight after Governor Chris Christie agreed to a late-night deal. State beaches and parks are back in business, welcoming visitors on this 4th of July holiday. The governor is dismissing criticism that he and his family were enjoying one of those beaches, you can see them there, that was closed to everyone else.
I think I've proven over the last 8 years that I have a choice to make between my family and political optics, that I'm going to pick my family.
But that photo is rocketing around the internet in memes posted with the hashtag Beachgate. Now to the police officer who was stabbed in the neck during a terror incident at Flint's, Michigan's airport. He's talking about that attack for the first time and about the man he calls a hero. Here's ABC's Alex Perez.
Tonight, for the first time, that airport police officer brutally attacked while on duty is speaking out.
I truly think it was over in 10 seconds.
10 harrowing seconds. You can still see the deep scar on his neck.
There was no warning at all. There was absolutely no warning.
We had an officer down there reports of a stabbing.
June 21st, Lieutenant Jeff Neville was manning his post at Bishop International Airport in Flint, Michigan, when Amor Fatuhi carried out an alleged terror attack, emerging from a bathroom with a 12-inch knife, similar to this one, yelling in Arabic, and ambushed him.
It was intact from the rear. It was very sudden. There was no warning. It was very intense.
That's when a quick-thinking airport maintenance man jumped in.
The way that he reacted was spectacular. If Rich Krull, the maintenance man, hadn't been walking beside me, I wouldn't be here talking to you today.
And Tom, authorities believe Fatuhi was a lone wolf. Lieutenant Neville is recovering well and says he absolutely plans to return to his post at the airport. Tom?
Alex Perez for us tonight. Alex, thank you. And there's still much more ahead on World News Tonight this Tuesday. The dramatic moment an 18-wheeler barreled out of control, caught on camera what fellow drivers did next. Plus, we'll take a new look at the parade of 4th of July deals this holiday. The good news tonight for consumers hoping to cash in. Plus, listening in on how the International Space Station astronauts and so many others are flying their flag on this 4th of July.
At Farmers, we've seen almost everything, so we know how to cover almost anything, even a swing set standoff. And we covered it. July 1st, 2015. Talk to Farmers. We know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Think your heartburn pill works fast? Take the Zantac It Challenge. Zantac works in as little as 30 minutes. Nexium can take 24.